Ethan's boots crunched softly over the mossy ground as he stepped cautiously into the dense forest of Lemuria 7. The sunlight filtering through the tall, iridescent trees painted the air in shades of green and gold. This planet was unlike anything humans had ever seen. The leaves shimmered with faint natural light, and strange, gentle sounds echoed in the distance. He could hear birds, but their songs were more like music than any human melody. He paused, checking the small scanner on his wrist. The device beeped softly, indicating that he was near an area marked Restricted Zone, Alien Royal Grounds. Ethan swallowed his nervousness. The mission was clear: observe the planet, collect data, and make no contact with the native civilization. But curiosity, the same force that had driven humans across galaxies for centuries, urged him forward. The forest opened into a clearing filled with plants that seemed alive in their own ways. Flowers with petals shaped like spirals swayed gently, though there was no wind. A soft, sweet fragrance filled the air, making Ethan's head spin slightly. And there, in the center of the clearing, was a flower unlike any he had ever seen. Its petals were translucent, shining faintly like crystal, and its color shifted slowly from deep blue to soft violet. Ethan knelt, carefully brushing the dew from the petals. "Incredible," he whispered. He reached out, hesitated, then plucked the flower from its stem. Immediately, a ripple of sound echoed through the clearing, not a threat, but a gentle vibration, almost like the plant had noticed him. Then, a voice filled the clearing. Not through the air, but directly in his mind. It was calm, regal, and commanding, yet there was curiosity in it. "You have entered my garden, human. Why do you take what is not yours?" Ethan froze. His heart pounded. He looked around but saw no one. Then before him a figure appeared, walking gracefully through the shimmering light. She was taller than a human, with skin that seemed to glow softly in the sun. Her eyes were deep and luminous, filled with wisdom and power. Her hair flowed, like liquid silver, and she wore a robe that changed color with her movement. Ethan realized he was standing before the alien queen herself. I didn't mean any harm," Ethan said, his voice trembling. "I just saw this flower, and it seemed special. I wanted to study it." The queen regarded him for a long moment. Then she smiled. Not the smile of someone amused, but the smile of someone truly curious. "You are brave," she said. "Or perhaps foolish. Humans are strange creatures. You take what you desire without asking, yet you do so with honesty." Ethan swallowed, unsure whether to feel relieved or more terrified. "I'm a scientist," he said finally. "I mean no disrespect, I wanted to offer it to you, as a sign of respect. I didn't know if you would like it." The queen tilted her head, studying the small human holding the glowing flower. The air around her seemed to hum softly, like the planet itself was listening. "A gesture of respect," she repeated. "How simple and yet intriguing." Ethan's mind raced. He had read reports of alien rulers before, but he had never expected one to respond to such a simple act. He had imagined complex ceremonies or tests of skill or harsh punishments. Instead, she seemed curious. "You are bold," she said finally. "Most beings would flee or hide. You approach the unknown and offer it freely. Tell me, human, what do you seek here?" Ethan took a deep breath. "I seek understanding. I want to know your world, your people, and perhaps how humans and your kind might coexist peacefully." The queen's eyes glimmered with interest. She stepped closer, examining the flower in Ethan's hand. "This bloom is rare. Its name in our language is Lumia's heart. It is said to reflect the intentions of the one who gives it. You give it with sincerity. That is admirable." Ethan felt his nerves relax slightly. He had never imagined that a flower could carry such meaning, let alone be recognized by an alien monarch. I am glad," he said quietly. For a moment, silence fell over the clearing, filled only with the soft, natural music of the forest. Then the queen spoke again. You will come with me. There is much to show you, and I wish to understand why your kind dares so boldly." Ethan hesitated. I don't know if I should. My mission... Rules are of little concern to me," the Queen interrupted gently, yet firmly. "Curiosity and courage are what matter. Step forward, human." Something in her voice removed all doubt. Ethan nodded and followed her as she glided toward a structure in the distance, a palace that seemed to grow naturally from the surrounding trees, its walls sparkling like crystal, yet elegant and alive. Every step brought new wonders. Pools of water that reflected the stars even in daylight, plants that hummed when touched, and animals that regarded him with intelligent curiosity rather than fear. Ethan realized that he was not just in an alien city. He was inside a living ecosystem, one that was carefully tended by beings far beyond human understanding. And at the center of it all was the Queen, who seemed both part of this world and above it. "You will stay in my palace for now," the Queen said, her voice gentle but commanding. "We will speak and I will observe. Your actions have intrigued me. Perhaps you are different from what my people have known." Ethan's heart raced. He had survived dangerous planets, navigated treacherous space storms, and faced hostile creatures, but nothing compared to this moment. He was not just a visitor. He was being recognized for his courage, his curiosity, and his humanity. As he stepped into the palace, he held the flower tightly. It was small, yet it had opened a door to a world he had never imagined. And somewhere deep in him, Ethan knew this encounter would change not only his life, but perhaps the future of humans among the stars. Outside, the forest continued to shimmer and the strange musical birds sang their timeless songs. But for Ethan, the most extraordinary thing was the soft, curious gaze of the alien Queen, who seemed to see not just a human before her, but a kindred spirit. And in that moment on the distant planet of Lumeria 7, a story of courage, curiosity, and the human spirit began. Ethan's first night in the palace of Lumeria 7 was filled with wonder. The walls were alive with soft colors that shifted like liquid sunlight, and the floor felt warm and alive beneath his boots. Strange, gentle lights floated through the halls, guiding him without the need for lamps. Despite his exhaustion from the journey, he could not sleep. Every corner of the palace whispered secrets of a civilization far beyond human understanding. By morning, he was called to the Queen's chambers. He stepped forward, unsure of what to expect, and found her seated on a platform that seemed to float slightly above the ground. Her silver hair cascaded over her shoulders and her eyes sparkled with curiosity. Around her, the air shimmered faintly, as if the palace itself recognized her presence. "You slept well, human?" she asked, her voice calm but commanding. "Yes, Your Majesty," Ethan replied, bowing slightly. "Thank you for your hospitality." The Queen regarded him for a moment. "I wish to understand you. Humans are different. You act with boldness, yet also with care. You take risks, but not recklessly. This combination is fascinating. Tell me, why do you explore the stars?" Ethan hesitated, thinking carefully. "Curiosity," he said finally. "Humans want to learn, to understand, and sometimes to help. We see the universe as something to explore, to discover, and we hope that by understanding others we can live in harmony with them." The Queen's eyes narrowed slightly, studying him. Harmony. Humans speak of it, yet often fail to achieve it among themselves. Yet you seem sincere. Perhaps your kind has potential that I have not yet witnessed. Ethan felt a mix of pride and nervousness. The Queen's attention was both intimidating and exhilarating. "I hope I can prove that, Your Majesty," he said. "Perhaps you already have," she replied softly. "Your gesture with the flower, it is small, yet it carries weight. We value intention here, Ethan. Actions reveal character." Ethan blinked. "You know my name?" The Queen smiled faintly. "I learn quickly, and I observe closely. You are unusual, human, not in danger, not in threat, but intriguing." She stood gracefully, walking toward a large window that opened to a view of the palace gardens. Outside, the trees were taller than any on earth, their branches forming natural towers that reached toward the sky. Flowers of every imaginable color glowed softly in the light, and creatures moved gracefully among them. "This is my world," she said. "It thrives on balance, on respect, and on understanding. Most outsiders fail to grasp it. They are loud, they take, they disturb. But you approached gently. You offered instead of taking by force. This is rare." Ethan stepped closer, feeling the warmth of the light and the gentle hum of life in the palace. "I didn't know I was doing anything special," he admitted. "I just saw something beautiful and wanted to share it." The Queen's eyes glimmered. "And that is what I admire. Simplicity, honesty, courage. These are not common, even among my people." Ethan realized that this was more than curiosity. The Queen was testing him, observing not just his actions but his character. He felt a quiet determination rise within him. "I will do my best to learn and understand your world," he said. "I want to earn your trust." The Queen studied him for a long moment, then nodded. "Very well, you will not remain idle. You will see our cities, meet our scholars, and learn our ways. But be warned, this world is not only beautiful, it is also dangerous. You must respect it, or it will not forgive carelessness." Ethan nodded, feeling a thrill of excitement mixed with apprehension. "I understand, Your Majesty." Over the next few days, the Queen guided Ethan through her world. She showed him gardens where plants moved to follow the sun, rivers that sang as they flowed, and creatures that communicated through colors and vibrations rather than sounds. Ethan marveled at every detail, taking notes and asking questions. The Queen answered patiently, though she often challenged him to think beyond human logic. One day she brought him to a vast hall filled with glowing orbs that floated freely in the air. "These are our records," she explained. "They contain the history of my people. You may observe, but only with respect. Knowledge is not a weapon. It is a responsibility." Ethan moved among the orbs, watching scenes of the past unfold, the growth of cities that merged seamlessly with nature, leaders who ruled with wisdom rather than force, and explorers who traveled the stars with curiosity and care. He realized that the alien Queen's people were advanced not just technologically, but morally and socially. "You seem fascinated," the Queen said softly, watching him. "I am," Ethan admitted. "Your civilization is incredible. You have achieved balance in ways humans have only dreamed of." The Queen's eyes shone with approval. "And yet, your kind has something we rarely see: boldness, creativity, and a willingness to risk for what is right. Humans can be unpredictable, yes, but sometimes that unpredictability leads to greatness." Ethan smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. For the first time in his life, he felt that humans could be truly admired by another species, not for power or strength, but for character. As they walked through the palace gardens, the Queen paused beside a small pond. "You have pleased me, Ethan, but your journey is just beginning. To understand us fully, you must see not only our beauty, but also our challenges. You must learn to think like we do, to act with care, and yet not lose your human spirit." Ethan nodded. "I will do my best. I want to learn everything I can." The Queen studied him for a long moment, then reached out and touched his shoulder lightly. "Your courage is rare. Most humans would have fled in fear. You did not. You acted with honesty and respect. That is why I am curious about you. That is why I watch you closely." Ethan felt a sense of pride but also humility. He knew he was just one human, and yet his actions mattered here. They mattered to the Queen and perhaps in some small way, to her people. As the sun set over the alien gardens, painting the sky with colors Ethan had never seen before, he realized that his life had changed forever. He was no longer just an explorer or a scientist. He was part of a story larger than himself, one that connected humans and the mysterious, magnificent beings of Lumeria 7. And somewhere deep in his heart, Ethan felt that the bond he was forming with the alien queen would shape not only his destiny but perhaps the future of humankind among the stars. The next morning, Ethan awoke to a soft glow filling his room. The palace had a natural rhythm, as if it breathed with life, and even the walls seemed to hum gently. He quickly dressed and made his way to the central hall, where the alien queen awaited him. "You are ready," she said calmly, her voice both commanding and welcoming. "Today you will face the first of several trials. These are not meant to punish you, human, but to show your understanding of our world and your ability to act with care, courage, and wisdom." Ethan nodded. He felt a mixture of nervousness and excitement. Though he had survived countless missions on strange worlds, nothing had prepared him for this. The Queen's presence alone was awe-inspiring, and now she was challenging him in ways he could not fully predict. The first trial took place in a vast chamber filled with crystal-like structures that glowed faintly in various colors. In the center of the room lay a small pool of water. The Queen gestured toward it. "Your task is simple," she said. "You must retrieve the seed from the water without disturbing the balance of the chamber. Every structure, every color, every reflection is alive. One wrong move can disrupt it all. Show me your understanding of care and precision." Ethan stepped forward cautiously. The water rippled gently under his feet, reflecting the shimmering colors around him. He observed the pool carefully, noticing how each movement caused subtle changes in the light and vibrations of the crystals. He extended his hand slowly and touched the water with the tip of his fingers, watching how the ripples spread. He took a deep breath and adjusted his approach. With deliberate, careful movements, he reached for the seed. Time seemed to slow as he balanced his hand above the water, feeling the gentle pull of the current. Finally, he lifted the seed, intact and untouched, holding it carefully in his palm. The Queen's eyes glimmered with approval. "You act with precision and respect. That is the first step in understanding our ways. Bravery without care is meaningless. Care without bravery achieves little. You have balanced both." Ethan felt a surge of pride, but he kept his focus. He knew the trials had only just begun. The second trial was more complex. The Queen led him to a garden unlike any he had seen before. Giant flowers towered above him, and streams of glowing liquid flowed through the roots. Strange creatures moved silently among the plants, observing him with curious eyes. "You must navigate this garden and retrieve 3 items of importance," the Queen explained. "Each item has significance to my people. But beware. Your choices will reflect your judgment and your understanding of our values." Ethan stepped into the garden, careful to move slowly and watch every detail. The first item was a crystal fruit hanging from a tall vine. As he reached for it, a small creature emerged, guarding the fruit. Ethan froze, observing the creature's behavior. He realized it was not hostile, only cautious. Slowly, he extended his hand in a gesture of peace, and the creature stepped aside, allowing him to take the fruit. The second item was a glowing petal floating on a stream of water. Ethan noticed that the water was home to delicate, luminescent fish. He could not simply reach in. It would harm the creatures. Thinking quickly, he fashioned a small tool from a branch and gently lifted the petal without disturbing the water or its inhabitants. The final item was a rare mineral buried partially in the ground. As he dug carefully, he sensed the vibrations of the plants and creatures around him. He adjusted his movements, making sure not to disturb the natural balance. At last, he held all 3 items in his hands, untouched and preserved. The Queen watched silently, her expression unreadable. When Ethan turned to her, she spoke softly. "You act with thought, care, and respect. Many would rush, many would seize without regard. You consider the consequences of your actions. That is why I observe you closely, human. That is why you intrigue me." Ethan felt a deep sense of accomplishment. It was not just about completing tasks. It was about understanding the principles that guided an entire civilization. The third trial tested his moral judgment. The Queen brought him to a chamber where holographic images displayed scenes of conflict, disputes between creatures, threats to the environment, and dilemmas requiring difficult choices. "You must decide how to act," the Queen said. "Your choices will reveal your values, your courage, and your empathy. There is no single right answer, but your reasoning must reflect understanding and integrity. Ethan observed each scenario carefully. In one scene, a creature threatened a smaller one to protect its territory. Ethan suggested a solution that would satisfy both, using negotiation rather than force. In another, a plant's growth was endangering a nearby habitat. Ethan proposed relocating it carefully without harming the ecosystem. The Queen nodded slowly. You see beyond the obvious. You consider consequences, the balance of life, and the well-being of others. These are traits we value. Humans often act without foresight, but you are different. Finally, the Queen spoke, her voice filled with quiet authority. You have completed the trials, Ethan. You acted with courage, intelligence, and respect. You have shown qualities that are rare even among my people. You are unusual. And that is why I continue to observe you. Ethan felt a sense of relief and pride, but also humility. He realized that his actions mattered not because of strength or power, but because of character. His curiosity, empathy, and careful thought had allowed him to succeed where others might fail. As they walked through the palace gardens afterward, the Queen's gaze softened. You are brave, human. You are thoughtful, curious, and respectful. These qualities make you remarkable. Perhaps your kind has potential beyond what I imagined. Ethan smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. Thank you, Your Majesty. I will continue to learn, and I will do my best to understand your world. The Queen stopped beside a small fountain where water flowed in gentle arcs. Your actions remind me that humans, though young in the galaxy, can teach us as much as we teach them. You are not only brave, Ethan, but capable of inspiring trust and respect. That is rare, even for my people. Ethan realized that the trials had done more than test his skills. They had revealed the value of human qualities in a universe of advanced civilizations. His courage, creativity, and empathy had earned the Queen's recognition and perhaps even admiration. As the sun set over the palace gardens, casting long shadows and painting the sky in shades of gold and violet, Ethan felt that he had crossed a threshold. He was no longer just an explorer. He was someone who had proven that humans, with all their flaws and unpredictability, could stand out among the stars. And the alien Queen, who had observed him so closely, seemed to see not only his actions but the human spirit itself, a spirit of courage, curiosity, and compassion that might one day change the galaxy. The morning sun glowed softly over the palace of Lumeria 7, casting long shadows across the sparkling gardens. Ethan walked alongside the alien Queen, still amazed at every detail of her world. The palace hummed with life, and even the air felt alive with energy. Yet beneath the beauty, Ethan sensed a tension he could not ignore. You seem troubled, Your Majesty, Ethan said gently. Is something wrong? The Queen's eyes darkened slightly, and her usually calm voice carried a hint of concern. There are forces beyond my rule that do not welcome the presence of outsiders. Some among my people see you as a threat, not because of your actions, but because of what you represent. Change, curiosity, and courage. Ethan felt a chill, but he refused to show fear. What must we do? He asked. I will do whatever it takes to help. The Queen's expression softened. We must be cautious, yet we cannot hide. Those who fear change may act against us. I will take you to a safe place where you can learn more about my people and where I can protect you while we assess the situation. Before Ethan could respond, alarms echoed through the palace, soft but urgent. Outside he could see shadows, moving in the distance, figures approaching quickly through the forest. The Queen's hand brushed lightly against his shoulder. We must leave immediately. Follow me. They ran through the palace corridors, which seemed to shift naturally, to guide them. The walls glowed softly, lighting their path. Ethan followed closely, marveling at how the palace seemed alive, responding to its Queen's needs. They reached a hidden exit, a tunnel that led into the dense forest beyond. The Queen moved gracefully, her presence commanding even the creatures of the forest. Ethan ran beside her, feeling his heart race, adrenaline sharpening his focus. As they emerged into the open, the threat became clear. A group of alien attackers, sleek and dangerous-looking, advanced toward them. Their weapons glowed faintly, and their movements were precise, trained, but not perfect. They had underestimated the Queen's power and the unpredictability of humans. "You will follow my lead," the Queen instructed, her voice calm but urgent. "Trust your instincts, human. Your courage and quick thinking may save us both." Ethan nodded. He had faced danger before, but nothing like this. The attackers were fast, and the forest was alive with hazards, twisting roots, swinging vines, and strange creatures hiding in the undergrowth. Yet he felt a surge of determination. He could not fail. The Queen led him to a clearing where a small vehicle, sleek and organic in design, waited. Ethan quickly learned to operate it, guided by the Queen's calm instructions. As they sped through the forest, dodging obstacles and avoiding traps set by the attackers, Ethan's mind worked rapidly. He noticed patterns in the enemy's movements and predicted their attacks, helping the Queen navigate safely. At one point, a massive vine descended from above, attempting to block their path. Ethan reached out instinctively, using his human ingenuity to manipulate the controls, causing the vine to retract safely without harming the surrounding plants. The Queen glanced at him, her eyes sparkling with approval. "Your creativity and courage are valuable. Few beings could have acted so quickly and carefully." After what felt like hours, they reached a hidden sanctuary, a canyon filled with glowing minerals and calm pools of water. The attackers could not follow without revealing themselves, and the sanctuary's natural barriers offered protection. Ethan stepped out, breathing heavily, his mind still racing. "You have done well, human," the Queen said, her voice calm now. "Your courage, quick thinking, and adaptability have proven valuable. You have survived where others might have fallen." Ethan looked around the sanctuary, amazed at its beauty. "It's incredible," he said. "Even in danger, this world feels alive and peaceful. I don't know how you manage it." The Queen smiled faintly. "Balance is key. Every action has consequences, every choice matters. My people and I strive to live in harmony with this planet. Yet even in harmony, danger exists. You have seen a glimpse of that today." Ethan nodded. He realized that the attacks were not personal. They were a reflection of fear and misunderstanding. The Queen's world was advanced, yet even here not all could accept change. Humans, with their boldness and curiosity, were seen as unpredictable. As night fell, the sanctuary glowed softly, the minerals casting reflections in the calm water. The Queen and Ethan sat together, watching the stars appear above the forest. "Canopy, you acted well today," the Queen said quietly. "You did not panic. You observed, adapted, and protected not only yourself but me and the balance of this place. That is remarkable for your kind." Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. "I only did what I thought was right. I wanted to help, not harm." "Precisely," the Queen replied. "Your intentions matter. You are not the strongest or the fastest, but your courage and thoughtfulness make you exceptional. This is why I continue to observe you." Ethan realized that this was more than a test of survival. It was a test of character. In facing danger, he had relied not only on skill, but on human qualities that set his species apart: creativity, empathy, and the ability to act decisively while respecting the world around him. As the night deepened, the Queen spoke again. "Tomorrow we will plan our next steps carefully, but tonight you rest. You have earned it." Ethan nodded, feeling both relief and anticipation. He knew that the challenges were not over, but he also knew that he had proven something important. Humans, though young in the galaxy, could stand alongside even the most advanced civilizations and earn respect through courage, wisdom, and heart. As he lay down to rest, he thought of the first flower he had given the Queen. A simple gesture, yet it had opened a door to a world filled with wonder, danger, and possibility. And now, facing the stars above the glowing sanctuary, Ethan understood something profound. It was not only technology or strength that mattered in the galaxy, it was character. And the alien queen, watching over her world and now over him, seemed to recognize it too. The morning sun rose over the glowing sanctuary of Lumeria 7, casting golden reflections across the calm pools. Ethan awoke feeling a mix of anticipation and nervousness. Today, the Queen had promised, would be important. After days of observation, tests, and trials, he sensed that a turning point was near. He dressed quickly and followed the Queen to a vast courtyard at the heart of the palace. The courtyard opened to the sky, with waterfalls cascading from tall cliffs and gardens filled with plants he had never seen before. Alien courtiers moved gracefully through the area, their attention focused on the Queen and her human companion. Today, you will show not only your courage and wisdom, but also your understanding of our people, the Queen said calmly. Her silver hair shimmered in the morning light, and her eyes glimmered with curiosity and approval. Many have observed you. Some doubt your presence here. But I have watched and learned. I wish to see your final choice. Ethan nodded, swallowing his nervousness. He had faced dangers and tests before, but nothing compared to this moment. He realized that whatever happened here could change his life, and perhaps the future of humans in this alien civilization, forever. The first part of the day was a display of skill and understanding. Ethan demonstrated ways to balance the ecosystem of the palace gardens, carefully tending plants, redirecting streams, and helping creatures without disturbing the natural harmony. Alien observers watched him closely, murmuring among themselves, clearly impressed by his thoughtfulness and quick thinking. The Queen guided him to a ceremonial platform at the center of the courtyard. Now comes the most important part, she said softly. You have shown your courage, your creativity, and your care. You have faced danger, solved challenges, and adapted to our ways. But your actions alone are not enough. You must demonstrate your understanding of connection, of trust, loyalty, and respect. Ethan took a deep breath. He thought of the first flower he had given her, the simple act that had started all of this. He thought of the trials, the dangers, and the quiet moments in the sanctuary where they had spoken about life, purpose, and understanding. He realized that he cared not only for the Queen's respect, but also for her as a being, wise and noble, yet curious about humanity. Humanity is known for bravery, curiosity, and persistence, he said finally, speaking to the Queen and the gathered court. But I have learned something more important here. It is not only about facing danger or solving problems. It is about trust, respect, and understanding. I honor your world, your people, and your way of life, and I hope to continue learning and growing alongside you. The Queen's eyes softened. She stepped closer to him, her gaze unwavering. You speak with sincerity, human. Many claim respect and understanding, yet few show it. You have done so not only in words but in actions. That is rare. A hush fell over the courtyard as the courtiers waited, sensing the significance of the moment. Ethan felt his heart race, but he stood tall, determined to act with honesty and courage. The Queen extended her hand, a gesture that had no command, only invitation. You have proven yourself worthy not because of strength, not because of cunning, but because of your character. Your bravery, thoughtfulness, and sincerity have earned my attention. And now, I make my choice. Ethan held his breath, unsure of what she would say. The courtyard seemed to pause. The waterfalls, the glowing gardens, and even the gentle hum of the palace suspended in quiet anticipation. I declare you my consort, Ethan, the Queen said, her voice clear and powerful. Not because it is expected, not because tradition demands it, but because you have earned it through your courage, your wisdom, and your heart. A murmur ran through the gathered court. Some looked surprised, others curious, but the Queen's authority was unquestionable. Ethan felt a surge of awe and disbelief. He had never imagined that a simple human, a visitor to this planet, could earn such recognition. He stepped forward, bowing respectfully. "I am honored, Your Majesty. I will serve with respect, loyalty, and care. I will do my best to learn and to honor your people and your world." The Queen smiled softly. "Your humility and sincerity are as important as your courage. Together we will face challenges, learn from each other, and create understanding between our worlds." Ethan felt a deep sense of purpose. He had come to this planet as an explorer, curious and cautious. But now he was more than that. He was a bridge between humans and the alien civilization, a symbol of what humans could achieve when guided by courage, respect, and character. The Queen led him through the palace, showing him the ceremonies and traditions of her people. She introduced him to her advisors not as a visitor but as her consort, someone who had earned a place of respect. Ethan was treated with honor, yet the Queen's gentle guidance reminded him that his journey was only beginning. As the day progressed, Ethan noticed how the courtiers observed him differently. Where there had once been doubt and suspicion, there was now curiosity and even admiration. They saw not just a human, but someone who had acted with integrity and courage. By evening, the Queen and Ethan stood once more in the glowing gardens. The waterfalls reflected the light of the twin moons rising in the sky, and the soft hum of life filled the air. Ethan held a small flower he had picked earlier, careful not to disturb the delicate balance of the plants around him. "I wanted to give you another flower," he said softly, "a symbol of respect and unity for everything you have taught me, and for the trust you have shown in me." The Queen accepted the flower with a gentle smile. "It is a thoughtful gesture, Ethan. You continue to demonstrate the qualities I admire: courage, respect, and sincerity. These are the traits that define you, not only as a human, but as a being worthy of trust and connection." Ethan felt a quiet pride, yet he also knew that this was just the beginning. He had earned the Queen's recognition, but the true challenge would be to live up to it every day, to honor the trust she had placed in him, and to continue bridging the gap between humans and her people. As they walked through the garden side by side, Ethan realized that the bond between them was not just personal, it was symbolic. It represented the potential for understanding, cooperation, and friendship between species, even in a universe filled with uncertainty and danger. And in that moment, as the twin moons reflected in the water and the alien stars began to glow, above them Ethan understood something profound. Humanity's greatest strength was not technology, not speed, not force, but character, the ability to act with courage, respect, and empathy. The alien Queen, walking beside him, seemed to recognize it too. The dawn over Lumeria 7 was calm and bright, casting gentle golden light over the palace gardens. Ethan walked beside the alien Queen, now recognized officially as her consort. The air felt alive with energy, and the soft hum of nature surrounded them like a living melody. What had begun as curiosity and small gestures of respect had grown into a partnership that promised change for both their worlds. The Queen spoke softly, her eyes reflecting the first rays of sunlight. "Ethan, you have proven yourself not only to me but to my people. Your courage, honesty, and care have shown that humans are capable of qualities beyond what many expect. You have earned the trust of my people, and together we can create understanding between our species." Ethan nodded, feeling both pride and humility. "Your Majesty, I am honored. I will do my best to honor your trust and continue learning from you and your people." That day, the palace was alive with movement. Alien officials, once skeptical of the human presence, now approached Ethan with curiosity and respect. Scholars, shared knowledge, and explorers spoke of distant lands and stars, fascinated by stories of human innovation and bravery. The Queen and Ethan moved through the palace together, discussing plans for collaboration, education, and exploration. "You see," the Queen said, pointing to a holographic display of the planet, "your people's creativity, curiosity, and courage can complement our understanding of balance and harmony. Together we can achieve things neither species could accomplish alone." Ethan smiled. "I hope so, Your Majesty. Humans can be bold and daring, but we also value respect, knowledge, and friendship. If we work together, we can learn from each other and grow stronger. In the afternoon, Ethan was invited to a ceremonial gathering in the central courtyard. The alien court assembled, glowing softly in the light of Lumeria 7's twin suns. Ethan's presence as the Queen's consort was now accepted, and the atmosphere was filled with anticipation. The Queen addressed the gathering, her voice clear and commanding. Today marks not only recognition of Ethan as my consort, but also a new era for our worlds. His actions have demonstrated the virtues my people value: courage, respect, intelligence, and care. Through him, we see the potential for cooperation, understanding, and friendship between humans and Lumerians. Ethan stepped forward, bowing respectfully. I am honored to serve as consort and to represent humans among your people. I hope our actions together will show that courage and respect can build bridges between worlds. We are different, yet we share the same values: curiosity, empathy, and the desire to create harmony. A quiet murmur of approval passed through the crowd. Many had doubted the human before, but now they saw that Ethan's character had earned the Queen's trust. He had acted with thought, courage, and kindness, qualities that resonated across species. As the ceremony ended, the Queen led Ethan to the palace gardens once more. The twin suns were setting, casting long, soft shadows across the glowing flora. Ethan picked a small flower from the garden, careful not to disturb the balance, and held it out. For you, he said softly. A gesture of respect and unity, for everything you have taught me and for the trust you have shown. The Queen accepted the flower with a gentle smile. A thoughtful gesture, Ethan. It reminds us that even small acts of kindness and understanding can shape the future. Your presence here is a symbol of cooperation, curiosity, and courage. It will inspire both our peoples. For the first time, Ethan truly felt the weight of responsibility, not as a visitor or explorer, but as someone who could influence the relationship between humans and the advanced civilization of Lumeria 7. He understood that the flower he had given the Queen at the very beginning had opened the door to something much greater than himself. Over the following weeks, Ethan worked closely with the Queen and her council. Together, they introduced programs for cultural exchange, exploration, and scientific collaboration. Humans shared their knowledge of engineering, exploration, and resilience, while the Lumerians taught harmony with nature, advanced energy systems, and the balance of ecosystems. Ethan noticed a shift in the attitudes of the alien people. Where there had once been skepticism, there was now curiosity and admiration. They were learning that humans, though young among the stars, had unique strengths: creativity, courage, adaptability, and empathy. One evening, Ethan and the Queen stood on a cliff overlooking a sparkling valley. The waterfalls below reflected the glow of the twin moons, and the gentle hum of the forest filled the air. You have brought new hope, Ethan, the Queen said quietly, not only for our people, but for the future of our worlds. You remind us that courage and respect, combined with curiosity and intelligence, can create something extraordinary. Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. I only acted with honesty and care, Your Majesty, but together we can achieve more than either of us could alone. The Queen nodded. Exactly. And that is why I chose you, not only as my consort, but as a partner in shaping the future. Our worlds can grow stronger through understanding, trust, and collaboration. As the moons rose higher, Ethan realized that his journey, from a simple human explorer to the consort of the alien Queen, was far more than personal achievement. It was a story of the human spirit. Courage, curiosity, and compassion that could be recognized and admired across the stars. And now, as he walked beside the Queen through the glowing gardens, Ethan felt a sense of hope and purpose. Humanity's presence in the galaxy, though small, could inspire trust, understanding, and cooperation among even the most advanced civilizations. The palace shimmered with life, and the soft songs of the Lumerian creatures echoed through the air. The flower in Ethan's hand was small, yet it symbolized something far greater: unity, respect, and the potential for a new era. And in that moment, On the distant planet of Lumeria 7, humanity had not only earned recognition, but had proven that courage, honesty, empathy, and curiosity could stand out in a universe full of wonders. The Queen turned to him, her eyes reflecting the glow of the moons. Together, we will build a future that honors both our worlds. Let this be the beginning of something extraordinary. Ethan smiled, holding the flower gently. I am ready, Your Majesty. For today, for tomorrow, and for the future we will create together. The twin moons rose fully, casting silver light across the palace and gardens. The soft hum of life surrounded them, as if the planet itself acknowledged the new era, and in the quiet glow, Ethan understood that this was not the end of a story, but the beginning of a partnership that could inspire generations. Humans had arrived on Lumeria 7 not with weapons or dominance, but with courage, curiosity, and heart. And now, standing beside the alien queen, Ethan realized that these were the qualities that could change the galaxy.